Hello, my name is Nick, and this is a tutorial teaching you how to add quick actions into your iOS app. So quick actions, if you have a device that can do 3D touch like the new iPhone 6s do, you give it a hard press and these things come up. This is like an example app that we have, so that's what we're going to be making. Like here with news, if we click on this, we can quickly get to whatever news article it is that we want. So with all of that, for this tutorial, you need to have a device that can do 3D touch if you want to test this. So you can't do this in the simulator. You have to have a device plugged in that can do it. That's why I have mine kind of doing a screen share here. So if you don't, you're kind of out of luck for this one. But hopefully Apple will add support for that in upcoming versions of Xcode. So for this tutorial, I'm assuming that you have some iOS programming experience, and if not, and you'd like to learn, please go check out my class, iOS9class.com, okay? Got to spell it right, iOS9class.com, okay? And if you go here, because we're doing the quick action tutorial, if you just go to redeem a coupon and type the word quick into here and apply, you will get a discount. So anyways, just if you don't know iPhone stuff, please go check this out first, and then this tutorial will hopefully make more sense to you. But with that, let's dive into stuff. So let's go ahead and just make a new app here. So we'll open up Xcode, and you got to have at least Xcode 7 to be doing these, quick action items. So we're going to do a new Xcode project. Just do a single view application. I'm just going to call this quick tutorial. Okay, and we want Swift, universal, doesn't really matter, and we'll just go ahead and hit next here. So I'm going to put this on my desktop, and here we are. So the big thing to know with quick actions is that there's two types. There's static and dynamic, and if you want more information about all these sorts of things, I really recommend going to Safari or some sort of web browser and just search getting started with 3D touch, okay? Getting started with 3D touch. And this will lead you to Apple's official documentation on doing all things regarding 3D touch. But if we go here to adopting 3D touch, specifically we'll talk about home screen quick action API, which is for adding shortcuts to your app icon that anticipate and accelerate a user's interaction with your app. A very boring way to say it adds those cool little buttons when someone pushes on your icon hard. So as it says here, there's static, which you have to add in info.plist, and these things can't be changed. So as soon as the user installs the app, even before they open it, they can access these static ones. These dynamic ones, you can change these, and so you can change the title, subtitle, images that go with it, the order of things, but those will only show up once. You have to have the app run at least once for those to show up. So there's a lot of apps on the iPhone that kind of do a hybrid, like the text messaging one. It'll show maybe your last couple of contacts, but also has a static one of just saying create a new message. So it's kind of a good way to go over that. And they have all these different class references and stuff. I think the most helpful thing if you're looking for a reference is this application shortcuts using UIApplicationShortcutItem. This is basically a project that shows how to make both static and dynamic quick actions. So go ahead, download that if you're looking for more, but I'll walk you through a quick one here. So let's get back to Xcode, and let's add a static one. So a static one goes into the info.plist, and we have to be a little bit careful here because there's a lot of big words that we have to do in order to add these quick actions here, and you just don't want to misspell them at all. So I'm going to provide these words down in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're at the actual blog post, I'll have those inside the blog, so you can just kind of copy paste those. So I'm going to be typing them, but if you don't want to type, I should have these available for you. So what you do is you go up to this information property list, hit plus, okay, and we're going to type out UI application shortcut items, and we got to make sure we get all the capitalization on that correct. Okay, so we add that, and for type we want this to be an array. Okay, so what we're going to have is an array of all the different application shortcut items. So let's hit this little arrow here and then hit a plus button. So now this thing should appear inside of there, say item 0. So this is our first array item. And we want this thing to be a dictionary. Okay, so now hit that arrow again and then do a plus. So first thing that we're going to do is give this thing a title. So we're going to say UI application shortcut item title. Got to make sure I'm spelling this right. Okay, so we have that there, and then now we can say what we want the title to be. So I'm just going to say hello, something like that. Okay. Next, let's add a subtitle for this. So you can have a title and a subtitle. If you don't have a subtitle, you can make it so your title can go over 2 lines if you want, but it's not a requirement by any means. So we're going to add another one here, and we're going to say UI application shortcut item. This is going to be subtitle, and I'll just say this is sub for that. Okay, so we have a title, we have a subtitle. The next thing that we want to add is a what kind of icon we want associated with this. So we're going to add a plus here. You don't have to have an icon, but it does look nice if you have it. So UI application shortcut item icon type. Then even to spell out this one, you have to say UI application shortcut icon type search. We're just going to do the search one for now, which is kind of like a magnifying glass. Okay, so the last thing that we want to do now is give this thing a type. So the type is when someone taps on it, to know how to handle whatever the user tapped on, you need to have some sort of custom type in there. So let's do UI application shortcut item type, just like that. And this one, it can be any kind of string that you want. Usually people do something like com dot made up by people is what I'm going to do, but like, it's that reverse domain thing of whatever your app is, and you kind of want to have some info about what it is they tapped on. So I'm going to do hello. But you don't have to do this com dot whatever. It can be any type of string. This is specifically for you to know how to handle this thing. So assuming that all this is there and working, let's go ahead and run this on my phone and see what we get here. Okay. So assuming we got that all up and running, I'm assuming you know how to get an app on your phone because you got some experience, We'll see what my phone is looking like. It's just that white screen of the app because we haven't added anything to it. But if we hit the home button, then hard press that quick tutorial, ta-da! You see a little quick action shows up. Now, the magnifying glass didn't show up, and I bet it's because we misspelled something. UI application shortcut item type icon, UI app, application, misplaced where the I is supposed to go. So now that that's fixed, let's hit play and see if that doesn't fix things for us. Go back to here, our app shows up, we hit the home button, we tap on this thing, there's the magnifying glass. So that's static. So static's fine, it will show up every time. Again, your app doesn't even have to open. If they just download it from the store and tapped on it, it would show up. But let's talk about dynamic. I'm kind of a fan of dynamic because you can change it as things happen in your app and whatnot. So let's just go to the view controller. I'm gonna get rid of this did receive memory warning just to clear up stuff and talk about how we can do this. So again, I think Apple has made this incredibly easy to add the dynamic ones, and I think it's really cool. So basically what we have to do is make some shortcut items and then pass them into the UI applications shortcut items array. Okay, so we're going to come here and say UI application dot shared application shortcut items, and you can see that it just wants an array of UI application shortcut items. All right, so eventually, once we have some, we're going to pass them into this little puppy here. So let's go ahead and make our first one. So we're going to say let first item be equal to a UI application. Xcode freezing on me here. UI application shortcut item, and if we do the parenthesis, it will give us just a really quick one where we just say type in the title, or we can do this longer one, which I kind of like the longer one. So for this one, again, the type is just saying, you know, what a specific thing for you, so you know what button the user pressed and can do something with it. So I'm just going to even just put in some random gibberish for this one. As far as the localized title goes, I'm just going to call this one, this is dynamic, and it is a very long title so that you can see it. Okay, so for the subtitle, we're just going to pass nil into there because I want you to see what happens when you have a big title and no subtitle. For icon, this is cool. Let's make our icon up here. So we're going to say let first icon be equal to UI application shortcut icon. Okay, and you can see it wants a type, so we say UI application shortcut icon type dot, and then it gives us the ones that we can do here. So I'm going to do maybe the play button. Okay, you can also, if you wanted to create your own image, right? When we were doing the icon like this, you could see template image name. That's how you could do your own custom one, but we're just going to go back to what we had, use the little Apple one. So we're going to pass that in for icon, first icon, and user info. This is like a dictionary of stuff you could pass if you wanted to, if just this little type identifier isn't going to work, but for now I'm just going to pass nil there. So we have our first one. Let's just go ahead and pass it into first item. Okay, and now that we've got that, let's go ahead and hit play on our app and see what we get. So we can see that's done. Oh, I've got to unlock my phone, but now it's running. See our white screen, and I go ahead and hit home and do a hard press on that. And whoa, there's the hello one, and you can see that this is dynamic, and it just kind of goes to 2 lines and then goes to ellipses. So you can have up to 4 of these little items here, and the static ones always will be there. So if you put 4 static ones inside of your info.p list, none of your dynamic ones will show up at all. But in our case, we only have 1, and so in the static ones, they always show up right here closest to the icon. So this is considered the first one, this is the second, and if we added more, you'd see how they'd kind of stack up. So let's just make a second one real quick. So we're going to say let second item be equal to UI application shortcut item, and we're just going to do the quickie one here for the string. We'll just put some random stuff in there, and for the we're supposed to do the short one. Come on now, there we go. So random stuff in there for title dynam2. It's kind of cool, and then we'll just pass that in. Second item. Okay, so we add that and go to the phone here. Wait for that app to open, then go back home. Hard tap on it, and you see the dynamic, and then now dynamic 2. And if we just pass in, I'm just going to say second item, just keep repeating this one. So you can pass in as many dynamic ones as you want, but it's only going to show, it's going to fill up the spots, those 4 spots with as many static as it has, and then anything that's left, it will fill up with those dynamic things. But you see, if we tap on this, it just took the first 3 because that's all the spots it had. So it did this one, and this one, and it didn't touch any of those things. So hopefully you've kind of seen the light with this and like, wow, it's extremely easy to add these things into our applications. Like it's pretty awesome. So the only thing I want to talk about now is when someone taps on those, how can you then use that to get them to the right part of the app? So you want to go to the app delegate here, and we're going to add another function down here. We're going to say start typing application, and you want to look for the one that says perform action for shortcut item. Okay, so this thing, it passes in a UI application shortcut item, and you can use this to then decide what to do with it. Okay, so we have, in fact, what I'm just going to do is say print, we made it here, and then I'm going to spit out some information about the shortcut item. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this one more time. Got to make sure my phone is open here. So it runs, come back, we tap on this, I'm going to hit that first one, and you can see down here it says, hey, this is the type that we got into here, the com.madeupbypeople.hello, and that was the one that we put in here. So this is where you could then say, all right, now go to this specific part of the app. So let's go back to the app here and go to a different spot. Oops, do that hard press, and let's do the dynamic one. And you can see now that for the type, it was that whatever kind of stuff. And if you put in, a user info into there, you can utilize that and do all sorts of things. But there's a crash course on quick action items on your iPhone app, and really it's so easy to implement. I mean, if you take 30 minutes, you can fully integrate this into your app, and your users will be like, oh my gosh, this is cutting edge, it's amazing, and really not that hard. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or something you want to share, please comment below, and thanks for watching.